Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Parker, and welcome back to the store. At this point, we've been running this series for a little while now, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. Instead of the normal run the store and talk about it, I wanted to kind of uh, do a little comparison between this and reality. What I notice when I go to my local hobby store and compare it to what I see happening here in this digital store to see how close they come to reality. So, with that said, I'm going to jump into a new day. All right. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about was a pretty simple one, the opening of a store. Um, this one does about the same as anybody else. It has a specific hour it opens at. Unlike in real life, of course, the time has stopped until I physically open the door because the entire universe revolves around this store. Uh, of course, in real life, that's not true, but it is a game, so that is a gameplay concession that they make to make it a little bit easier to manage a store as well. We're the only store on the block. Obviously, that's not going to happen in real life. I mean, nobody's entering any other stores. We're not the only store on the block. As you can see, there's a food mart nearby, but nobody's going in it. Obviously, that's something that isn't real. Now let's talk about day-to-day operations. Your employee comes in, they start their work. Generally, you have to count down a till, set up your cash register, and get ready for the day. And here the till stays locked, probably locked inside the whole time. That might be fine if you're running a one till location, but small businesses are a little bit different than big corporations. So I usually, in the past, I've worked for big corporations, so that might be slightly different. And also, let's talk about ordering. So in this game, it's pretty easy to order directly. Um, Amazingly, this gets things here to you faster than Amazon ever could, or almost any other delivery service. Especially when you're talking about a large order like we normally do. I do want to order placemats and a box of blues. Yeah, and card sleeves. So let's go ahead and get those set up. So a blue box. Uh, let's do two. And I want some card sleeves. So let's do two. And I also want the first playmat, I believe, which I'll do one. Let's order another one just in case, because I do have a storage shelf unit now. Let's go ahead and purchase those for $7.13. All right. So we'll go ahead and keep stocking as I talk more about this. But you see that delivery? Instantaneous. I gotta say, it's a lot different in the real world. If you ever worked retail, you know what days you cringe when they happen, because you're getting a shipment that day. And if you worked flow or anything where you set up the store, you know how bad it can be sometimes when that truck pulls up and you've got 20 or 30 pallets to unload. Oh, it's so fun, right? So fun. Um, a small store like this, probably a lot less, but you typically put in your shipment orders on specific days. You don't typically order each day by day. Most companies that do that, I've seen restaurants that actually work that way. It doesn't work. You end up running out of product and have to send someone to the grocery store in the middle of the day in restaurant. I have actually worked at a restaurant that did send me to a local Publix, which is our main grocery store down here, along with a few others, but that's the one they sent me to. Um, and if you're a store like this, it's kind of hard to go and just buy units at a random convenience store. You really can't. So you would generally set up in the computer system what to order, and then the shipment day, the ordering day comes, and then the shipment day will happen 2 to 3 days later. Typically, you have a specific day that you're expected to have the stock. Tuesdays and what was my other day? Thursday, for the store that I worked for, which was Target. That's when our store received orders, and orders weren't. They kind of staggered what they ordered when. So groceries would come in on a certain day, and then the other day it will be hard and soft lines typically. Because sometimes they got emergency stock orders for groceries that sold particularly quick. Um, so that's something this game definitely gets wrong. However, it is completely understandable why, because this is a game. My the idea behind doing this isn't necessarily to point out that something's wrong, but just point out how it's different than real life. The other thing, the lights are off. Now, this is me. I haven't been doing it. I should turn the lights on when the store opens, even if it's daylight. But I have actually walked in, and I think one of my local comic book stores is one of the ones that does it. They actually do keep the lights off during the day. So it does cut down on the bills. And I believe it cuts down on the bills in this game as well. And I can see companies doing that if you have this kind of wide open natural light coming in. But it's not necessarily something that always happens in real life. A few other things that I noticed, like this, you probably wouldn't design a sign to look like this. That is more a gameplay thing. This looks more like a kid designed it who just came out of, not even came out of, who was just starting design school. Now, no offense to the designer, I'm not saying that that's what this is. That's just what it looks like. It's more a graphic design thing. In real life, I have seen signs far worse than this. So it's not necessarily something that doesn't happen in real life. It's just something that I noticed. It is not something you would typically see. So the other thing that is more of a gaming thing, is this. You know, you, someone would come to a desk to try and trade their cards. However, someone would also just approach a staff member asking if they could trade cards, and then the staff member would walk them over to a desk, or in my case, they actually take them to the play area if the uh, card person was on site, because mine has a specific person who will look at cards, not necessarily a grader, but just someone that looks at them, sees what the store says they're worth, and then will make an offer, or they'll go through their binder if they bring a binder, or comics, things like that. They typically have people who do it, specific people, or they may have a card database set up as well. That could be true. But you might have a grader on site as well. That's something I would like to see added. We can send grades. I haven't done it in this series yet, but in here is TCG grading. I guess I have. I forgot about this. I'm looking forward to getting that. Yeah, it's okay. Actually, while I'm thinking about it. So the game does differ quite a bit from what happens in real life. But it kind of has to. It's in the end a video game. It also, there aren't release events. Is that there's an expansion in the game for this card game. The expansion is called Destiny. However, they don't have a release event. And I think I mentioned this in I believe the quick overview when I first looked at it. And that would actually be one of my suggestions for the developers, to consider putting something like a release event into the game. Like at I don't know, when you reach day 30, release the new expansion. You'll get a poster you can put in here that you can't get afterwards unless you participate in the release event. Then it'll unlock it in decor, along with special standees that you can only unlock during that event, stuff like that. I would highly, highly love to see something like that in this game. There is a there's a movie rental game called, I think it's Retro Rewind, and they have release events where a release for movies where they actually do have a standee specific to that game. Sorry, to that video that gets released. You have to order, I think, like 5 copies of the movie, and if you do, you get a free standee with it. That I don't think you can get any other way, and I think that's such a neat idea. Okay, focusing a little bit on the store for right now. We'll get back to that discussion soon. I want to pay all my bills. We'll get to that in a moment. And then I want to look at this again and see. I can 900 and 1050. So 1950, 1796. Let's look at what we can, if we can unlock anything, which we should because we just reached level 20. Yeah, I'm going to buy this. I don't usually buy the smaller packs, but once it reaches 2000, I'm going to buy that. So, back to the discussion now that I know what I want to do. Paying bills. This is a daily bill payment. I think you can go a specific amount of days without paying and then you pay all at once. As a matter of fact, it wasn't really told to me that I could pay daily. So I kept waiting and waiting for the bills to be at that specific amount of time and then I paid them off. But you can pay daily. Now, granted, you should be paying, you could be paying bills daily by putting it into a savings account that you then apply to the bills on their due dates. So maybe that's this game's form of doing that. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I think that's just an odd way to do bills. But that's probably just a personal feeling and not really anything that matters. So let's see. Speaking of real life, there is something about real life in this game. These. These are all by Ultra Pro. And if any of you are tabletop gamers, you'll probably recognize the name Table Pro. Or Ultra Pro, sorry. These are real life items that you can get probably at your local card store or comic book store, whatever. These are real. I have seen them myself, and they went out of their way to get a licensing deal with them. So I think that's a neat little addition that they didn't have to do. Um, but yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. That good on the dev for trying to branch out into things that are real life. Could it be considered an ad? Maybe. I don't mind it so much because it's not really intrusive, and at least not in my opinion, and it also gives a little bit of reality to this game, this fictional game. And I do like when games do that. So I'm at 2000. I'm going to purchase. It's 147, so I'm going to add to a cart. In this case, I'm only adding to a cart to purchase and open this box specifically right now. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I'll start chasing some cards too while I talk. Nope. Not bad. 35 on the first pull. So the other part, the reality of the game, is this. Pulling cards. To me, this gives me the same dopamine hit that getting an actual card in reality gives me, with fewer need or less need to actually pay. The actual TCG Shop Simulator is pretty standard with pricing. It's like $12.99 or something like that. But the hit that I get from opening these is exactly the same hit that I get from opening a real pack in life, aside from not having a physical item. That's fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. But I do enjoy this part of the game. That sound is still way too loud. Sorry. But yeah, I do enjoy that part of the game. Oh, there's no sound now. There we go. Okay. It's still kind of loud, but that's all right. So, the um, the way the packs are done, I feel like I haven't picked up a card pack in a while, but I don't remember there being legendary packs versus basic packs. I don't think that exists. I'll admit it's been a long time since I bought a pack of anything but Lorcana. So that one, when I bought into it, it was the first release. So I can't speak to now, but I don't. There weren't any card difference or pack differences back then, aside from getting like a basic starter deck along with two foil packs, usually what it has. Um, so if that's changed, please let me know in the comments. I have no clue. I really, I really kind of wish I got back into it, but there's a lot that has to do with storage space that I don't have right now. So and two, I don't really want to support the major companies that are doing it aside from Ravensburg or Ravens. Uh, oh, I forgot the name of it. But anyways, they're the ones that produce Lorcana. Um, I actually like them as a company. I don't have anything bad to say about them, so I will support them. But um, business politics, I don't like it for the other major companies. Okay. But yeah, this part right here, for me, matches that kind of feeling I used to get when I would pull packs in reality, and I'm glad it's in there like that. Ooh, we need more sleeves already. Wow. Let's grab them off of here. So the other thing is staffing. The way I don't know. So I kind of get what they did here. He is currently 2 on the counter, so he's a little bit quicker than when he first started. I don't really see. Well, I kind of do. It's hard to tell, but to me it looks a slight bit faster than it was. It can go up. The next level is red stars, and so you can max out red stars. I think is the maximum star. So it goes yellow then red. Once they're red star, they're max and totally maxed. They are maxed out. I kind of wish there was some kind of training as well. I don't know what they would get trained in though. Like we don't have customer service breaks, meaning there's no complaining about stuff that happens in the store. And I know I've said it before, but that is something I wish were implemented, but also probably can't very easily because of the fact that it's a video game and the way they would have to code something like that may not be something that they can do or want to do. It maybe it was suggested at one point and enough players said no, so they didn't do it. All right, we're gonna end this day. So I have made some money. Well, profit I made enough. So I think this is actually the first time my money. No, this is not the first time I made profit. Never mind. Anyways, so I do have a new pack set. So the next thing I need, let's buy a new shelf. Let's also buy. Now I got the sound too low. That's weird. With that one sound. Oh no. Well, let's reload. I think this. Yeah, this should be it. Let's redo that. I think yeah, it saved it. Okay, good. When you go to the main menu, it does autosave, so that's the same. The sound is too low. That's what I was doing. Setting. Let me go back. That one sound is just. It's like it. I don't know if it exists outside of this setting. Maybe that might be what it is. I'll have to look into that later. But let me get this set up. I'm not going to put a cube out because I haven't filled the other cube yet. I'm going to turn off the grid-based system and try to get it as close as I can. There we go. Good enough. Okay. And I'm also going to order another pack, 2 packs of legendaries. And I'm going to set them out. That's enough to fill 2 shelves, so it should be good. This one will be hard to keep up with, though, if I remember right. So I'll set these out. So yeah, the staffing. Yeah, having training would be a nice addition as well. Maybe they earn levels, right? Like they could earn levels in their current skill. This, for example, he's good at manning the counter. We could They could possibly make it to where he does better. You get him skilled up in negotiation. No, that would be more for card trading, and I don't think that's automated. Yeah, I actually don't know, but I would like to see some form of training in here. Let's see. Market price. I don't have to do that. 10 round and done. Okay. So we'll see how fast this sells, and if it sells quick enough, we'll buy 4 more packs. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and order another one just for myself. So that's something else. If you owned a shop of your own, would you do this? I don't know if you can, but would you? Would you open packs to see if you got anything good that you could sell on the side? Or is that what your company, if you work for a hobby shop, is that what you guys do? I actually never worked for a general, like a hobby shop or a comic book shop, so that would be an interesting thought. If you do, or if you work for one and know what your owners do, or if you own one, let me know in the comments if this is something that you guys do or are allowed to do. I've always, I've kind of wanted to work for one just so I could be surrounded by that culture, but I just never did. It wasn't, well, it was for lack of trying. I never actually tried. I was more interested in hospitality, and it's kind of where I stuck to it, or that or retail, but the retail was like larger companies. I've only worked for one small company in the past, and it was not an enjoyable experience. Kind of soured me on family-owned operations. Not only for working. It's what I try to frequent if I go somewhere, if I can. Not to say I don't support chains, because those people need work too. Just so we're clear, I do support both. But yeah. I sure would love to hear from someone who actually works or owns a trading card game store, or does that within their store, and it's not like just you happen to have a section with it, but like it's something that you specialize in, or you have a lot of value in. So also something I'd mention is the some of the ways it's different from real life. The utilities, the bills, they're not really accurate to what they would be in real life. I'm not saying we need to do taxes. Maybe bill me for trash removal. Because this trash can right here sees a lot of action. Alright, I think I'm out. Nope, that was just too far. Okay. So I did see another $100 and something, so that may be the best card I've received yet. I'll go into my binder in just a moment, and I know I've said that before. I'm actually going to do it today while I'm thinking about it. Alright. Let's see if we get anything else. Come on. 1650, okay. Alright. Let's open up the binder. So this is what I got. It's $168. That has got to be one of the better looking cards that I've gotten out of this, for this run at least. I love full art cards, really do. Alright, let's put it back in. Do I have any more? Nope. Toss this. Okay. So let's see. No one's touched these. Oh, okay. 26 and 30, so a few. Alright. Let's go ahead and order those orange boxes. I'm going to order 3. What else do I want? Oh, what's this? Oh, I still have a blue box. Okay. Forgot about that. Toss this out. How's my... Yeah, I need to put that. Okay. Let's fill that. No empty. Alright. Let's see. I want to order some more blue boxes. Let's order 2. I'm going to order more sleeves. Sleeves seem to do pretty well. What am I up to now? 8, 10. Let's go ahead and purchase what we have, because it's going to take me a while to stock that. So I'm getting to the point where I should think about getting a stalker. I'm not quite there yet. I kind of want to get more storage shelves and a bigger store before I do that. But I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to think I could use it, because I am ending the day on, you know, a positive 1,000, not in profit, but I am making it in overall sales. So it is something to consider. Alright, that's good. If I have any more, I'll put it on the shelf. I don't know what I have on the shelf. I should probably have looked at that before I ordered. I'm just used to ordering. So let's get these on the shelf. So yeah, if you have anything you notice about how this differs from your real life experiences in the in a card shop, let me know. What does it get right and what does it get wrong about card shop ownership or working in a card shop? Let me know in the comments down below, and we can talk about it in another video. Alright. So far so good. It's 422. I'm at 475 again. So yeah, we are making a decent amount of money. Let's see, what do I have stocked? I have purples. Okay, let me get these spread out. Oh yeah, I guess I do need the boxes too. I completely forgot about that set. It's okay. It was more important that I get the legendaries. Yeah, he's still working. Okay. So let's see. That's probably a good idea. And oranges. Alright, orange card packs, and I want to find purple. Well, time to think about expanding, I guess. What was it, 900 for the next one? Yeah. What about B? 5,000 to unlock shop B. Woof. Okay, it will be a while before I get that. You know, I know it's on, but it seems so dark. I don't know if that's a lighting engine issue. I don't know. I don't know Unity as well as I do Unreal. Let's see. Red, no, they're not selling that well. Purple's okay. One thing about staffing, yeah, so staffing is what I was talking about before. The other parts about staffing, and I have mentioned it before, and I think I've given a solution for it, but when they take stuff that you're working on, I would like there to be a do not include or do not inventory, D&I. Every store uses D&I. Usually it does mean do not include an inventory. When they inventory everything, it's usually display units or something they've already accounted for. In this one, it could be staff doesn't touch. You mark a box D&I, they will not include it in their activities. Like stocking and stuff like that, or even being able to label whole shelves like that, DNI, DNI, and DNI, because I'm trying to reset this display. They won't touch it, they won't refill it. Or even mark it to be emptied. That would be nice, something like that. Um, to make the employees feel more fleshed out, more usable, um, more useful than they currently are right now. Not that they're useless. They're actually, they can be good once they get higher up. They are pretty good. But I feel like they could be better. Um, and that system, DNI, would work perfectly in getting to that point. No, not that. I want play mats. Let's grab one and one. I want... no. And let's do orange card sleeve, not sleeves, but card packs. 3 of them. Buy. So let's go over here and see what else I got. Blue. Okay. We'll set some of these out if I can. There's quite a bit left still in this box. 30 and 24. This should be all of it. Yeah. Alright. Get this in next. Alright. Let's get this set out. I'll start on the empty shelves first. I got 3 boxes, so it should be enough to fill everything. I hope. Because 3 boxes fill out all the shelves anyways. Let's see. Okay. Let's grab this and... So I should have some overstock. I also need to buy the graphic design sleeves as well. Okay, next. I will say, okay, I can also compare this to other simulation games. I feel like that this does more to improve the game experience or to make the game experience more enjoyable than other games like this. You don't have to hit people with a baseball bat. And that's a give and take. I kind of like some games that do that. There's a new game out called 99 Rewind, which is another movie rental game. And it's all about that 90s feel, early 2000s feel. Oh, so good. It looks so good. But you take a bat to people who owe you rent or to Redbox machines. That's a different kind of game, though. They do it right in that game. Other games, you chase down people and beat them up just because it's gameplay. I'm glad they don't sink to that level in this game. Although they get close to it. Not bats, but just doing things for sake of game. Like, well, they don't just get close to it. The odor part is one of those. That's just a gameplay system for gameplay's sake. Anyways, let's see. Let me go back to shop A. 900. I'm going to spend 1 to get that. There we go. Okay. So let me rearrange the store a little bit. If you were doing this, and you were setting up this store, what would you do differently? Where would you put the shelving instead of the way I'm doing it? Would you have it? Would you have a central display of all the cards here, and then put the tables off to the side, and then like fill this area with dice or other, even board games and stuff? How would you set it up? To be fair to, or not fair, but to let you know, there's also manga in this game that is based on the card game that I could put out as well. I just haven't bought the license for it. I'm trying to be a little bit more selective with what I purchase as game or licenses to sell in this game early on. I tend to overbuy the licenses. When you do that, that's what leads to, hey, I can't find this, but they know that you're supposed to have, the game itself knows you're supposed to have it. So it does create the need to set it out to sell, whereas if I don't buy the license, I feel like they don't say, hey, I can't find this, but I'm looking for it. Alright, so I've stopped the cube in between for now, so I'm going to go ahead and not do that in this one. Actually, Let's put this back over here. Let's see. Purchase. Do I have the license for the... No, I haven't bought that license yet. And I can't. Okay. For now, I won't worry about it. So let's see. All the stock is looking not too terrible. What do we have up here again? Orange. Let's fill out what was bought last, and then no more space. Okay. So we've got that done. All right. So today, like I said, I wanted to discuss how this differs from real life. Obviously, it's not an exhaustive list, and it's... I have done coordinating at a store, but I didn't necessarily manage the store. So some of the stuff I say may not be exactly what management would say. It's more as a casual observer, especially in card game stores. I've never worked one. Like I said before, I've worked at a Target, so I've stocked them, but I haven't worked in a store that specialized in them. So the stuff that I say is actually coming from a big box store versus a smaller homegrown store. So take what I say with a grain of salt as far as that goes, but I will say that this game does represent a good slice of what retail is like. The monotony of restocking the shelves, but you can find great release in that because it's cathartic. It's like a meditative job. You don't necessarily have to think about stocking. You just have, aside from if you're stocking food items, you have to check the expiration or best by dates, but best buy before or buy before, whatever date system you use, you do have to look at that. But, other than that, you're just there stocking shelves, and there's been so many times when I've lost myself to just stocking and restocking. But it gets that right. It gets the cashier right. Like, I'll be quite honest. My brain switches off when I'm doing it. The math just comes to me. I mean, it usually does when you've done it for long enough. So, this game gets a lot of things right, and it gets very close to realistic. The parts that aren't realistic are parts that do need to be gamified, or possibly maybe too much to ask of a developer of that size. I get that. What I do like about the game far outweighs what I dislike about the game, which is why I keep coming back to it. So that's it for now. If you do like this style of video, I could do more, maybe not comparisons, but deeper dives about games like this, or this game in the future. Thank you for joining me in the store, and in the comments, let me know if you're over 40, what games are you playing, and even if you're not, let me know. I always am looking for new games to play. Speaking of which, if you do want a new game, or want me to look at a new game, let me know in the comments. Who knows, I might make it a series or at least a quick look. But thank you for joining me in the store tonight, and I'll see you next time. Have a great evening.